Hi, David Taylor or Mr Pelargonium back with another video. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're just going to do a really quick video, primarily because I've got all the windows shut. It's really hot and I need to open up the greenhouse, but I have to shut it in order to do the videos. A few quick tips and hints leading up to the show. I'll just speak about that in a moment, but let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to try and make this really quite quick. As I say, I've already explained in order to open up the greenhouse. Now, regarding the show, I think everybody knows that today the Prime Minister is making an announcement about the sort of rollout of the roadmap, and it's not looking like it's going to be good news. There's almost certainly going to be a pause to the rollout. We will have to make decisions about how whether we're going to hold a show or whether we're indeed going to go back to doing a virtual show. I'm filming this today on Monday, the 14th of June. I think of the date since 14th of June today. We've got a committee meeting tomorrow night on Tuesday, the 15th in the evening, and an announcement will therefore be made on the morning of Wednesday the 16th about what we're doing about a show, whether it's going to be a sort of, an adjusted main show or whether we're going to do a virtual show and things like that. I don't want to preempt at all what the committee may decide, so you'll have to wait until Wednesday morning for decisions on that. In the meantime, one way or the other, we will be having a little show, either virtual or real, whatever. Now, it's baking hot. The first 2 weeks of June have been really warm. And just a few tips about watering. Do not go over watering your pelargoniums when it's hot. Really easy to overwater. The mantra really is little and often. So a little bit of water, I've been going round, just shoving a little bit in each one. It means that you have to do it more or less every day or every other day, but little and often is the key, and that is really something that you need to do. Now, anybody that looks at my videos regularly will see that I've actually moved some of my Regals over to this side, primarily to see if I can boost them on a bit. That was the general idea. It may or may not have worked, but one of the problems with coming from a shady side to a sunny side when the weather is really warm, I have my windows sort of fully open so you get a bit of sun coming through. I've actually scorched a couple of the leaves, and I'll show you that in a moment, the Regals, because Regals do not like certainly direct sunlight, certainly when it's very hot like it is at the moment in England. So you do have to be very, very careful. But whether it's worked, I mean, who knows? There are buds coming, and I've got some opening on one or two of these. I think it's probably a bit of a forlorn hope, certainly by, the weekend of our sort of projected show. I don't think that many of these will have come on very well. I've got some others which we'll just have a look at. Right now, with regard to the Regals, one or two are beginning to show a little bit of, gusto. But the problem is it's very patchy. This is one of the problems. This is one of mine. I'm actually going to name this Aruba Sunset. This is quite nice. But you can see I've got a few heads that have come through. These are just set back a bit, so they do get a little bit more light to some of the others. These are stock plants now, but we got buds, but how long these buds are going to last, I don't know. But it's very sporadic, and you can see with this one here, this is another one. This is one of mine called Strawberry Fool. Again, it's quite tight, it's nice and healthy, but there's not a lot of bud coming on it. Another Aruba Sunset there. These ones here were all open anyway. These were the untouched ones we saw. Young plants that were never stopped. The only one that I would say has done relatively well is this Saturn. We've got a bud there, it's a bit behind, could do with a bit of filling in here. I mean, it's not too bad. That feels a bit light, actually, probably due to the water, but that has come again relatively quick, like everything has this year. But you can see I've got a few other plants that I've swapped over in bringing the Regals to the other side of the greenhouse. But we got a lilac elaine there, which we can see that. I mean, that's okay. Although I've got a reverted petal on one of the heads, but you know, I mean, they are what they are. It's just not been a good year for me with Regals. I don't think even in a couple of weeks they'll be brilliant. So that's just about it. But we look and enjoy them. Over in this section here, this is very much an enjoyment section. These are all relatively new plants. We've got if I just move my tripod out of the way, because I've got very little room, or far too much in here now at this time of year, of course. This is Delhi. I love Delhi. Always does better for me in a clay pot. I can never grow it in a plastic pot. In a plastic pot, it just keels over, doesn't do anything. But in a clay pot, it grows fine. That's actually a Quantock plume, large flowering angel, one of Ken Diamond's again. A lot of these are in clay pots. Anything that I don't generally intend to grow for show, I keep in clay pots. Another one that I've been quite impressed with, a newish one, Abihilia. I think that's gorgeous. Really do love that one, Abihilia. That's one of the ones that was taken over from Derek Lloyd Dean. I think he passed a lot of his stuff over to Fibrex when he closed down. Now the standards, I mean, we're looking at standards. This is flowering quite well, to be quite honest now. I think this is going to be okay. I'm hopeful that that'll get in the show. Now, the one thing I will be doing with the show this year as a side is adding a couple of other classes, such as a trained class, probably trained I will encompass. If we go down the virtual route, that is, I will probably have a trained class either for a standard or a trained plant, and Floribunda as well. And there's one of my Floribundas, Gosbrook Susanna. You can see there's the training of the pulling the two blooms together, which I spoke about the other week. It's very important to do. Just looking up at this one, I particularly like this. This is brilliant. This is a very small flowering decorative Regal, and I really do love this. I think this is very charming. It's quite lax, so I put that in a hanging pot. But I really do think that's something quite nice. Got lots of beaks forming on one of the Regals that I was doing. I'll be doing a separate video, but as I say, my time has been very limited this month. I've got lots of videos in the pipeline, but yeah, I've just not had the time to process them. Got loads of beaks coming, you can see. These have all been crossed on here with a plant called BB Wilson, and I actually spoke to Martin Pope, who breeds BB Wilson, last week, and it is BB Wilson. I was calling it Babe Wilson, but it's BB Wilson. So apologies, Martin, for that. But yeah, so I've clarified that anyway. So that's a cross that I've done. That's one of my own seedlings. That's unnamed. We'll have to see. I think it's quite a good show plant. Lilac Elaine's and one or two others over there. What else we got? We got the Mrs. May last as ever, which will come for the show. I've got a huge Zonatic growing up here. I probably need to get these outside, actually. I don't know why I've not put them outside yet, but time is quite limited for me in June, always is. And so there we are. Now, one thing I will show are all my dwarfs, because the dwarfs have all come just much as I said, and I think a lot of people have had the same problem with zonals this year. All the zonals have gone nuts in like a 2-3 week period. And there's all mine under a bench. I'm trying to hold them back for next weekend. But they are superb and they are ready now. So whether they will have gone over by another week or so, well, another almost 2 weeks really, is questionable, but they are in tip-top condition now. Could have done really with the Bristol show, which would have happened just this last Saturday. We did have a little celebration. I went over there and saw a few of the people in somebody's garden. Had quite a good day. But those dwarfs, I've got bold cherubs up one end and Gosbrook Susannas this end, the red one. But they are superb. They are really at their best now. So yeah, they probably won't be so brilliant in in a little while. But I'll show you floret, sort of dead floret picking in another video, because I just want to bash through this one quite quickly. Some Gosbrook berry zest, or just berry zest. I've dropped the Gosbrook on that these days. That's quite a nice plant. Flowers lovely again in a clay pot. Big standards. I've still not released the video that I've done when I repotted this. This is giant. This is well over 1 metre tall. And I've got some other standards growing here as well. And so there we are. That's a quick resume. So the quick resume is, and here's the close-up. Here's the close-up of the scorched leaf. This is what happens when you get sun, because I had an open window and obviously the sun got on there for just a little while and it's burnt the leaf. I mean, I don't think it would do too much damage. It's just a single leaf. And if I snap that off, it's not going to do, I've taken that off, so it's not going to do too much sort of damage to the view of the plant, but I don't think the plant is going to be brilliant anyway. This is one of my own hybrids, again unnamed at this stage, and there's another one there which I will just clip back and break off. But yeah, so you need to be very careful, particularly with Regals. If you grow Regals, they will get subject to scorch if they get a bit of sunlight on them. Okay, so that's just about it for today. It's a really quick one, just a little review of what's going on there. And I'll hopefully do another video either later this week or early next week, because I will need to be sort of saying what the sort of mechanism of any show that we do, whether it's virtual or real. So just keep your eyes peeled, ready for another video about that. But I'll continue to give a few hints and tips along the way as well. So I'll see you again very soon.